It's time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, guys? I've tried some new things today, so I apologize. We're going to have some learning issues. I'm trying a couple new programs out just because I'm trying to always spice up my game. There's always a lot there. But I want to say thank you to the Countdown crew. You guys always show up strong. I absolutely love it. And yeah, there's going to be some learning issues with what's going on here, but that's all right. What I wanted to do is jump on today. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. One, we're approaching episode 500. We got 2 more episodes. We're going to be giving some stuff away. And so I'm going to talk about that in a little bit later. Also, going to have a guest on the show tomorrow, the ever amazing BD Peacock. That's right. Brian Peacock of Locked On 49ers is going to be joining us tomorrow. Really, really excited about that. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys have some questions that you want me to throw his way, go ahead and get those out. Email me. You can message me on Twitter. That all wonderful places that we can have those conversations. But again, just want to make sure you guys all understand tomorrow I'm going to have a guest on the show. And I'm trying to get a lot more guests kind of programmed in because one, it's the off season, and two, it's a good way just to get some different perspectives on some different issues that are going on. You guys always hear from me, and also, I want to help out the community. Not that Brian needs help at all. That dude is just a beast and a tank, and always going super strong. But those are some of the things that we want to get out there for you. And man, let's jump into it. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some quarterback trades. We're going to end this kind of podcast talking NFL draft as we do every time for the next couple of months, highlighting a couple other corners that I want you guys to kind of spend some time with and see what your thoughts are on there. But again, we got a lot of stuff. Oh, check this out. Look at this, man. We're stepping it up. We've got our draft ticker on the bottom. And I think that this is one of those things that I really want to spend some more time talking about, because as we get closer to the draft, everybody understands we don't have a first round pick currently. Jimmy Garoppolo and all the stuff that's going on there, that's important as well. But we've got to make sure we get to the point where fans have a realistic approach to what's going to happen with Jimmy, what's going to happen with our draft. Everybody wants us to draft corners, and, I'm also in that camp. I would love to get a corner, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's just not the way that it goes. Let's see here. Oh, man, appreciate the gift, Sean. Thank you so much. He says, thanks, John, for the distraction from scary things. I absolutely love it. And now we've got this new program where I can throw up your chats and all those different things up there. So, Sean, just want to say thank you for the super chat. And yeah, during this time, there's so much crazy stuff out there. And it's not even like, how do I say this? A lot of people are just trying to catch people slipping with a lot of these rumors that are out there. So just keep your head low. Let's talk through those things and allow the context of NFL trades to be your guide. Okay, so let's talk about Jimmy. And a lot of people out there are saying like, hey, well, Jimmy might be back next year and all those things. All right, well, let's talk. Because the terminology that's being thrown around is, oh, well, it's lukewarm. Right? Adam Schefter. There's not a lot of people out there that are just dying to get their hands on Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's fine. But I will say this. There's 32 teams. There's not 32 better quarterbacks than Jimmy Garoppolo. Whether you hate him or you love him, wherever, he's in the middle. That's where he is. Which means if he's 16, 17, 18, whatever, that's 12 teams that would improve their team if Jimmy Garoppolo was on their team. So that's important just to understand and realize and just keep in the back of your mind as we go through this. Because what I want to do is I'm going to talk about last year's quarterback trades. Not Matt Stafford. That one's a little bit different. I don't even think he's in that realm. But some of these guys, we're going to go through and we're going to break down these trades. Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, Teddy Bridgewater, Joe Flacco got traded, Gardner Minshew, Ryan Finley. Those are quarterbacks that were moved for compensation. Well, what were they, right? So let's talk Sam Darnold first. Sam Darnold's not a good quarterback. He's young and he's on a rookie contract. But even if you look at that contract, it was a lot of money that he was getting traded for because he was picked so high. He got a 6th rounder the year of and a future 2 and 4. That is a compensation that would be welcomed by the 49ers. A 6th the year of, and then again, a 2nd and 4th rounder moving forward. That's kind of the ballpark that I think you're looking at with Jimmy G. Now, obviously, he's not as young as Sam Darnold, and his contract is a little bit higher, but it's the last year of his deal, which is important because no team's tied to him long term. You look at, you trade for Jimmy. If he works out, great, you extend him. If he doesn't, you don't. Very similar to the way in which the 49ers traded for Jimmy, right? Because we had 1 year. It's 5 games. We chose to sit him. We only saw him play for 5 games. We traded for him in October, Halloween. We sat him. He learned the system. He came in because of injury. We saw him for those 5 games and chose to extend him. The playbook's out there. So other teams get a look at that and kind of figure out, okay, even if, let's say we trade a 2nd for him or, a couple 3rds, whatever, we get to see what he brings. If it's a fit or not. Look at Carson Wentz. Not a fit, right? The Colts are looking away. And let's go to what Carson Wentz was. Carson Wentz got a 3rd rounder and a 2022 conditional. So a 3rd rounder the year they traded him in 2021. And it was going to be a 2nd rounder unless he played 75% of the snaps. Well, guess what? Carson Wentz defied all odds and did play over 75% of those snaps. Now that's a 1st round pick. I think it's number 16 overall, if my memory serves correctly. So that's a little spicy. I don't think that's what the 49ers will get, a 3 and a conditional 1. I think that's a little rich. Thank you, Kali. Appreciate it, man. He says, thank you for the show. Suffering from 49ers withdrawals. Aren't we all? And let me say this. If you are one of those people that is suffering, what I would recommend, head over to Patreon. That's going to be the place to get all of this content. Like, let me show you. I made this new video because some people were asking for help. So I'm going to show you kind of what Patreon is. I know I talk about it all the time. And if that's something that you want, head to patreon.com. Just type in 49ers. We're the first one that pulls up. You can just type in Patreon 49ers on Google. We're the first page that shows up. But this kind of will show you some of the content that is there. So if you are one of those people that is kind of like Kali that is suffering from 49ers withdrawals, this is the place that you can go to get all the 49ers content that you could dream of. Hey guys, just wanted to take a second and kind of show you what Patreon looks like and what that is. Amazing app, and you can use it on your phone or whatever, but it's really whatever you want. Like if you're just one of those hardcore draft people, you can just click on the tab. We have 64 draft breakdown videos up already. And so you can just kind of scroll down and kind of look at the different positions. If you want corners, which I'm going through now, those are there and the specific players that are there. Let's say you want Trey Lance, right? You want to go back through and you want to see what Trey Lance was like in college. I've got a bunch of Trey Lance video breakdowns where I go through just hours and hours. We have over 230 plus videos up currently. And so it's just this really easy way. The 49ers draft class. You want to see guys that we haven't seen this year. You want to go back and you want to watch some Aaron Banks. What was it that they saw in him? We didn't get to see him on the field in the regular season. Aaron Banks. You want Trey Sermon. All of the draft classes there. You want to look at opponents. You want to watch Rams games, right? You just type in Rams and oops, did the wrong one. There we go. Got to clear that off. But like you can go back and you can watch all these old games that we have, and every single offense and defensive snap from the last 2 seasons, those are on there. Also, this is the best way to support the podcast. So you want to check that out, head over there. All you got to do is just type in 49ers Patreon in Google. We're the very first one that pulls up, and it's the best way to support us. So go check it out and help this podcast grow. And if you don't like it, as always, you check it out, not your cup of tea, 100% money back, guaranteed, no questions asked. Just say, sorry, didn't use it enough, whatever. Money back guaranteed, no issues. So go check it out. All right, so that's there for you if you need that content. Plus, we have our Jerry Rice tier Zoom hangout tonight at 4:30 p.m. PST. We're going through free agency, one of the best times of the month for sure. So if you want to join us there on that Zoom call and talk, that is available for you as well. Come check it out. Trust me, you won't be sorry. I love this. Caleb, Cubs, Caleb. He says, what about Debo replying to Grant an hour ago, talking about Grant Cohn? Debo put, bruh, this is quote, I'm reading Debo's tweet here. Quote, bruh, you are hilarious. Everything I post is not pertaining to the Niners. Stop making narratives just for views, with a couple laughing emojis. That's what Debo said to Grant. So Grant's go to Grant. That's just kind of who he is, man. And take that for whatever you will. Now, let's jump back. Let's talk some more quarterback trades. Let's talk Teddy Bridgewater, because I think this one, not that I think it's close to the compensation, but I think it's close to the structure of the trade. Only got a 6th-round pick, but the Panthers had to pay some of his money. So the Panthers paid $7 million and the Broncos paid $3 million. So if I could combine, in my GM mind, it's going to be a little bit of Teddy Bridgewater and a little bit of Carson Wentz trade kind of morphed together. I think that's what's going to be taking place. Where, you look at Jimmy G's about $25 million. I think that the 49ers will keep some of that. They'll pay 5 to 7 of that probably, depending on the team they trade for. And they'll get a considerable package very similar to what the Colts gave to the Eagles in the Carson Wentz trade, where you get a 4th rounder this year and a 3rd rounder in 2023. But that 3rd rounder could become a 2nd if he has a number of starts, if they make the playoffs, adding those things in there, because they're going to finesse the deal. It's you can't just straight up pay market value for Jimmy Garoppolo, because, again, why did the 49ers draft Trey Lance? There's lots of reasons. But what did Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch say? We're happy with Jimmy, but he's missed 2 complete years, out of 3. You can't do that. And so whenever he's healthy, we win. Whenever he's not, we don't. It's time to move on. He limits things. There's lots of other issues that you could throw in there. But it's going to be that Teddy Bridgewater, Carson Wentz kind of compensation. Now, and again, this is what the NFL is going to now. Listen to this Joe Flacco trade, right? Eagles get a 6th-rounder. It goes to a 5th-rounder if he plays 50% of 4 games. He did not. So again, adding these little qualifiers so that you're paying what you're getting. If they don't hit the qualifiers, then all right, this is what you are. But if they exceed that, you got to step it up a little bit. Gardner Minshew, right? Jags got a 6th-rounder. It goes to a 5th if he played 50% of 3 games. He did not. So again, we're starting to see this kind of whatever. Ryan Finley got traded. Ryan Finley and a 7th. The Bengals got a 6th-rounder. So you're starting to see some of these things that I think it makes sense. I really, really do. I really think Jimmy's going to be traded. And, I was on another podcast just a couple days ago, yesterday, I think it was. Goodness, these days are morphing together. And the question was asked, well, what if they don't trade him? What do they do with Jimmy? Do they cut him? No, you don't cut him, because, again, Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback, whenever, let's say you keep him, you redo his deal, whatever, it doesn't matter. You would get a 3rd-round comp pick whenever his, everything expires. I know you need that cap money, but again, he's getting traded. The question turns to, well, what if? I'm telling you right now, he's getting traded, guys. He's getting traded. That's all there is to it. So I know that it's easy, and sometimes you want to jump into the whole thing of, man, what if? He's getting traded. You don't let your quarterback go up there and cry and say goodbye, faithful, in front of the media if you're not getting rid of him. That doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And that's why I don't think it's going to happen. It's happening. The trade is happening. It's taking place. I don't care what anybody else says. That is a for real thing that is happening. Now, Couple other things I wanted to talk about real quick, but before we do, got to talk our draft party, baby. And then after that, I'm going to go over some big time Twitter polls that we put up there. Got a lot of traffic. Really excited about our NFL draft party, which we've been pumping up. And again, we're going to be live in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay, one of their brand new clubs that they just redid. We rented it out. It's just us. It's just going to be 49ers people there for the entire first round of the draft. We're going to be broadcasting the entire first round. We've got Fred Warner and Elijah Mitchell coming out. And so we still have meet and greet tickets available that are there. We still have some VIP tickets that are available as well. So head over to 49ersrushroadtrip.com to get your tickets. And if you want more in-depth information and updates throughout this whole thing, because we're going to be doing lots of giveaways, text DRAFT, D-R-A-F-T, to this phone number, 833-306-0365. Again, text DRAFT to 833-306-0365. 0365. We've got a lot of 49ers podcasters coming out. We're going to be doing giveaways on the hour, every hour. And for the people that are there, we're going to be doing a live mock draft competition as well. And the prizes that we are getting together for this, I'll reveal them a little bit later, but you get all your drinks, all your food included. This is designed to be the greatest 49ers draft party ever, and I really hope that you get the opportunity to come out and join us because it's going to be incredible. So again, head to 49ersrushroadtrip.com to get your tickets before it sells out. And so I do want to say thank you to all the hashtag CC people that are, putting all that out there, because here's what we're going to be giving away. And this is important. On the 500th episode, which is 2 episodes from now, we're going to be giving away a buy one, get one free ticket to this 49ers party. And listen to this lineup. We're going to be broadcasting live the whole time at this party. So here's what it's going to be. Listen to these names. Jason Aponte is going to be there. I'm going to be there. My buddy Dale from Eat Sleep Fantasy is going to be there providing some fantasy stuff and all that. He used to come to a lot of the parties we do. Grant Cohn's coming out. Wayne Breezy's going to be there. Crystal, I'm going to mess up her last name, Score, is coming from Italy to help broadcast. This is going to be the 49ers party of all parties, okay? And what we're going to be doing, I want to say thank you to my dude, one of the coolest people I've ever met, Nick from New Jersey. He's coming out. He's partied with us like crazy. He wanted to share this experience and make it better. So he's offering, and we're giving away a ticket for this. So basically what's going to happen on episode 500, we're going to tweet out to everybody that registered to that draft service. And the first one that answers it is going to get a buy one, get one free ticket to this. Just a way to kind of promote that and get all that up there. So that's going to be there. And again, the details are in the description of this video if you want to check that out. It's going to be incredible. One, you get a meet and greet with Fred Warner and Elijah Mitchell. It's going to be a blast. We're freaking Las Vegas. It's going to be great. So hopefully you guys come out with us. Now, a couple things that I wanted to kind of talk about. And yeah, Matt, I see you there, man. I love this. Can't wait for the draft. Would love Jermaine Johnson to put up with Bosa, but he's going to the top 10. I agree with you. I think that he has shot up draft boards. He's an edge out of Florida State. He's incredible. I don't know if the 49ers can even get close to him, but I do like him a lot. Another question here from Brunel. He says, John, would you trade Jimmy and the 2nd round pick for the 11th from Washington? 1,000% I would. Would Washington do that? I doubt it, but I would want to, because again, one of the things that I think people don't understand is there's a premium of picks. And usually it's the top kind of 12 to 15. Every draft's different. Usually you have about 18 to 20 first round grades. Some teams only have like 10 to 12. So if you're looking at the draft, 1 through 15 usually are pretty damn important. But then once you get past that, 16 through 50, pretty much the same damn thing. There's not a giant difference there. So if you're just looking at kind of like what the value of these picks are, that would be gigantic. Do I think that because again, if I look at Jimmy and kind of his value, I think Jimmy's worth like the 40th pick, just straight up. That's what I think he's worth. Okay. Well, the 49ers 2nd round pick is number 61. So if you combine what I prescribe Jimmy's value to be, which is pick 40, which is worth about 500 points, plus the number 61, that's 292. So that's going to give you 792. That gets you to pick 21, best case scenario. So, Brunel, I love this question. I just think that's too rich for Washington to give up. Would I do it as the Niners GM? Hell yes. I would love to do that. Are you kidding me? That sounds awesome. From Dr. Steven, what's up, man? He says, what's your plan then? More compensation 2022 or possibly better conditional? I think you're talking about Jimmy if he doesn't get traded. If he does not get traded, I would keep him. Just because I understand cutting him and getting that money, and that's huge. But what I would do is keep him because you get that third round comp pick whenever he signs somewhere else. I think those picks are so valuable. That's Fred Warner. That's Ambry Thomas. Like, you're getting something. If you cut him, yeah, you don't pay him anything. He has no dead money. But I don't know, man. I don't think free agency is the way to build. I think that you build depth in free agency. I do not believe that you go out there and, spend all that money just on somebody like, again, you got Debo, you've got Bosa next year, things like that. Let's see here. Tommy says, we aren't going edge with the first pick. I think we are making diamonds in the rough. Yeah, Tommy, appreciate you. It's just what they do. And, that's one of the things I want to talk about with BD Peacock tomorrow. Is there a chance they finally surprise us? And maybe don't go O-line or don't go D-line. Obviously, we had to trade up where they went with Trey Lance, but what's that going to look like? You know what I mean? Like, could they possibly go cornerback and listen to, fans and all that stuff? I don't know. Now, I had a couple fun conversations on Twitter that I thought I'd bring us into. The first one was, and here, I'll just read it for you. With Trey Lance as the starting quarterback for the 49ers, who benefits the most, right? And I gave 4 options: Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Debo, and Elijah Mitchell. So again, I want to put this in there, throw this up in the chat. Let me know what your answer is. With Trey Lance as the starting quarterback next year, who benefits the most offensively? Ayuk, Kittle, Debo, or Elijah Mitchell? Throw that up in the chat. I want to see what you guys say. Now, the reason why I thought this was interesting, one, it got an absurd amount of votes. It was only a 24-hour poll. It got over 7,000 votes, so a lot of high traffic. But beyond that, the results were staggering. I agree with the results, but 49ers Twitter never agrees on anything. It's so bad. It's so toxic a lot of times that it's fun and entertaining. It's like watching a train wreck and you just see people just tear each other apart. One of the reasons why I don't have a lot of faith when the zombie apocalypse comes. I don't think there's a zombie apocalypse, but if it did come, it's going to be bad news bears. I'm seeing Ayuk, a couple people throwing up Ayuk. Everybody throwing up Ayuk. We got Dr. Steven saying Ayuk. We got Nick saying Ayuk. We got Adam saying Ayuk. Everybody saying Ayuk. Is there anybody that disagrees that's going to be Ayuk? Because it just makes sense, right? What does Kittle and Debo do? Over the middle, yards after the catch. What does Ayuk do? Stretches the field vertically. Now, Debo can do that as well. So can Kittle. I'm not trying to say they can't. But that's what Ayuk prominently brought to. That was his draft profile, right? And so I think that's huge. So listen to these results. 5% voted Elijah Mitchell. Here's why I put him in there. The running game's going to open up. This is the mobile quarterback and what they bring to the table. It changes all that, right? So the running lanes, that backside linebacker has to sit whatever the zone read takes place where Trey could keep it. It freezes the linebacker, which creates much better running lanes. But only 5% said Elijah Mitchell. 11% said Debo. 11% said Kittle. 71% of over 7,000 people said Brandon Ayuk. And I think they're right. Ayuk he's poised for a gigantic third-year breakout. We saw what he could do his rookie year. Year 2, started in the doghouse, had some issues, completely fought through all those things. You go back and watch it again on Patreon. If you want to go watch that Rams game, the NFC Championship, Ayuk's just running free almost all game. Just quarterback never looks his way and doesn't throw deep. He's going to get a quarterback that can throw deep and outside the numbers now. It widens everything. What did Debo say whenever they asked him, like, man, what did the Rams do to stop you guys? He said, they made us not be able to run the ball. Can't do that anymore. If Trey can force the ball deep and outside the numbers, which we know Jimmy Garoppolo kind of never has done, it's just not really what he does. Now, so there's that one. Here's another question I had, which was, it's something that keeps being brought up. And I hate to make it like it's this guy versus this guy, because I think that's a very wrong way of looking at it, right? Linebackers. Dre Greenlaw is in the last year of his rookie deal. Azeez Al-Shaair is a restricted free agent. What do? I think you keep them both for as long as you possibly can. Can you sign both of them to long-term extensions? Well, you still got one more year before you have to decide that, right? Azeez is restricted, so he doesn't get to negotiate with other teams based on the tender that they put on him. Like they'll probably use like a second-round tender is my guess, and that comes out to about $4 million this year. Dre Greenlaw is in the last year of his rookie deal because he wasn't a first-round pick. So it's last year, and then he's an unrestricted free agent, meaning he can go wherever. Let's say you could trade Dre Greenlaw for a third-round pick. Would you do that? I don't know. I would not, because you got a cheap linebacker that fits perfectly. It is incredible. You keep him. Azeez, you can sign him for cheap. He's an incredible linebacker. If somebody gets hurt, we saw he could be the guy. You keep him. Build depth. Linebackers, these are cheap linebackers. They're very, very cheap. I don't see why there's this commotion out there to trade these guys. Help me understand. Why are people saying like, oh, we should do this, or like we should trade this guy? Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. Keep the linebacking core. I think it's important. Why get rid of them? I don't know where this is coming from. Tommy, yeah, linebackers aren't going anywhere, at least for one more year, right? At least for one more year. I think that's just so important. Now, the poll that I put out there, I said, who's the better linebacker? I love them both, but I've got a lot of questions on this. And, over 1,000 votes. There's still some time left on there. Here, I'll retweet it now if you want to go check that out on Twitter at JL_Chapman. Over 1,000 votes, 1,113 votes as of this recording. Dre Greenlaw, 54%, and Azeez, 46%. It's so close. There's not a wrong answer. They're both incredible. Now, if you look at what they put up just the last two seasons, we just look at their last two seasons, they're very similar. Greenlaw played 948 snaps the last 2 years combined. Azeez, 1,134 snaps. So Azeez played more. Greenlaw, 107 tackles with 9 missed tackles. Azeez, 137 tackles with 19 missed tackles. I don't think anybody would argue the better tackling linebacker goes to Greenlaw. Now we get into the idea of explosives, right? Or negative plays. Tackles for loss. Greenlaw, 7. Azeez, 10. Sacks, Greenlaw, 1. Azeez, 2, right? So those explosive kind of big plays, that's huge. Now, this is what's interesting, because a lot of people are saying like, okay, I'll just ask, who do you guys think is the better coverage linebacker? Greenlaw or Azeez? And I can give stats to back up both. There's not a wrong answer here. Who is the better coverage linebacker? Greenlaw or Azeez? Because it's all about philosophy, okay? If you're operating and again, there's not right or wrong. These are opinion-based. We brought Quan Alexander in and paid him a lot of money. A lot of money. A lot of mistakes, a lot of splashes. Do you want the mistake and splashes, or do you want consistency? Me, I'm a consistent guy. That's what I want as a coach and as a player. Consistency is the number one determination for greatness. That's what's important. Or do you want somebody that's a streaky three-point shooter, right? Like that's what it comes down to. And I think that's why some people love Azeez, because the splash plays are incredible. And that's why some people love Greenlaw, because he just doesn't make near as many mistakes. So listen to these stats. Here we go. I'm seeing some of this stuff. Yeah, I love this. I'm seeing, and nobody's wrong, right? But Greenlaw, okay? Greenlaw has 2 passes defensed, 1 interception, and has allowed 1 touchdown. I think that's what's important, right? 2 passes defense, 1 interception, 1 touchdown for Greenlaw last 2 years. Azeez, 7 passes defense, literally 3 times more than Greenlaw. 2 interceptions, twice as many as Greenlaw, but 4 touchdowns allowed. Greenlaw 1 touchdown allowed, Azeez 4. So you're getting more interceptions. You're getting more hands on the ball with Azeez, but you're also giving up 4 times the amount of touchdowns. Look at receptions, okay? Greenlaw allowed 58 receptions on 71 targets. Azeez, 90 receptions on 110 targets. Now, quarterback rating allowed, Azeez, 81.5, a quarterback rating allowed when he's targeted. Azeez, 100.5 when he's targeted. So it's just a philosophy thing. You could argue that both are better at both. And I think I don't know. I think it's important. Now, I will say this. When both the players were healthy this year in the playoff games, Dre Greenlaw started the wheel position the entire game. They didn't rotate. Now, Greenlaw got hurt in the NFC Championship. Then Azeez took over. But when Greenlaw was out there and healthy, Azeez was on the sideline. He was the rotating end guy. And it's good to have that, especially whenever they're this cheap. That's kind of how I see that. Anyway, now let's jump over. I want to share. Let's jump into some draft talk. Appreciate all the comments. I'm seeing a lot of stuff on there. I love this. John got me to Twitter and I fell into the great code rabbit hole. Debo blocked him. Oh, that's awesome, Matthew. I'm sorry if I caused any issues to you or your family. Yeah. And so like I enjoy Twitter because it's the best place to have discussions and quick information. Oh, I almost forgot about this. We're going to find out tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, if the 49ers are going to be playing overseas. The NFL is going to be announcing, what's it called? The NFL is going to be announcing who the London game is and who the Mexico City game is next year. Now, at the bottom of the screen, I'm showing you all the home and away games that we have scheduled. We don't have the schedule out yet, but these are the teams we're playing. Now, this year's interesting. Since the NFL went to the 17-game schedule, it doesn't fit, right? 8 home games, 8 away games, and then you rotate. So last year, the 49ers played an additional road game at Cincinnati. We won that game. This year, upcoming, we'll have 9 home games and 8 away games. Now, one of these, I think the 49ers are going to get the Mexico City game. I really, really do, because we just announced our affiliate program with them. I could totally see one of the 49ers versus Cardinals games being in Mexico City. I could totally see that take place. We'll have to see what happens there. I doubt they'll take a game away from the 49ers because we lost all those home games during COVID when Santa Clara wouldn't let us play there. So I don't think the NFL is going to take away a home game. It's possible, but I don't think they will. And you guys know me with 49ers Rush Road Trip. We're going. If it's in Mexico or London, 1,000% I'm going to be there. Traveling, I tell my students all the time. At my previous school, I led the senior trip, and I would help plan it with the kids and all that stuff, and we would take kids all over the world, which was awesome. The current school doesn't do that, but that's okay. Spending money on travel is very important. Opens your perspectives, especially at a young age. Now I'm not so young anymore. It's just freaking fun. I love experiencing different cultures and going around. So when they make that announcement, just understand the 49ers Rush Road Trip will be there. Man, I think it's going to happen. I think it's a greater than 50% chance, which is awesome. I really want one of those games. I really want one of those games. All right, now let's shift over. Let's talk some NFL draft. And cornerbacks. Let me make sure I enunciate properly. Here's just 2 more guys I want to talk about that I think are a lot of fun. The first one is a 6'2", 196-pound corner from Florida, Kaiir. I think I said his name correctly. Kaiir Elam. Now, if you guys enjoy this quick clip, I'm only going to show one for each player. We've got the full breakdown over on Patreon, which we showed you earlier. But here's a clip of who is Kaiir Elam. So he can wrap up. We see it on the routes. But, very nice speed. Whew! That is a good coverage snap right there. Hits the delay. Gets on top of it very well. That is incredible. You want to see if he's got the speed? Here you go. Stays patient on top of it. Understands. Now it's just get it and go. Man, just cuts him off, walls him to the outside. Oh, that is a really, really good defensive route. And notice too, he's using his hands You can see there, but they're both using each other's hands. That's not going to be called because he tries to turn around and make a play on the ball. That's going to be the best snap you will ever see from this kid. That is insane. Very good job on the fade route. Again, this is the press man. You can see they're in single high. That's really good coverage. If this dude came out 10 years ago when Seattle was doing their thing defensively, then I think this guy's a first-round pick. I don't think that he is anymore. Fewer and fewer teams like the 49ers who do cover 3, they're going after smaller corners. But that is a hell of a snap right there. Very, very good. Yeah, that's against a first-round draft pick corner and a Heisman Trophy winning QB. That's pretty dang good. That's pretty dang good. Let's see it on the back end here. Oh. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, he's fun. And, you watch him in that Alabama game. He holds his own for sure. Now, he's way too grabby. He's going to get a lot of penalties. He's going to have to adjust his route. He had 7 penalties just in 2021 on defensive holding and pass interference calls. That's an issue. But he's a stud. And you probably recognize the last name. He is the nephew of Matt Elam, right? Who was the first-round pick. I think he went to Baltimore. Yeah, the Ravens. And so he's a fun play. He's a fun watch. The combine's going to be interesting. He's got to work on change of direction. But, I mean, you start at the University of Florida as a true freshman. You've got something going on. Now, this next guy up in our last one today is Kyler Gordon. I cannot show enough clips of this guy. I love this guy. He can play inside. He can play outside. He's jacked. He's 6'2", kind of exactly what the 49ers are looking for at corner. Can play inside or outside. This is Kyler Gordon of Washington. Whew. Great play. Good gosh. Gordon in the slot against a big kind of move tight end guy. Watch his footwork. And just chill, patient, recognize on the slant, gets underneath right through the hands. This is, again, what does he bring to the table? Why would a team want to jump up in the late first, early second to get Gordon? Versatility and acceleration. This is what he gives you. You want to put him out there against a big tight end? He can do that just fine. The body, well developed, and he'll be one of the bigger slot corners day one. But the acceleration, the explosiveness, the power that he brings to that position is huge. If you're wanting to stop guys like Jawan Jennings in the slot and Travis Kelce's and whatever, these are the type of corners that will eventually be slot corners in the NFL. Not the small little 5'8" guys, but quick, shifty, powerful guys. I mean, a decade ago, Gordon would have been an outside corner to a T, and he can do that. I'm just saying he brings a lot of advanced versatility that a lot of guys, because again, you put a 5'8", 179 corner out there, you're getting an extra 20-plus pounds and 2 to 3 inches. I mean, look at it. I mean, he's slinging this dude around. It gives you just a little bit extra gravy on that back end whenever you're bodying up with people, and his athleticism's on par with any of those small, shifty guys. I like him a lot. I really, really like this kid a lot. He's by far one of my favorite corners. Kyler Gordon out of Washington. If the 49ers get a chance, golly, go get him. Go get him. Now, what's up? The Camper Report. Want to say shout out to this guy, man. He is incredible. If you're looking for some more 49ers content and you're a YouTuber, go type in the Camper Report. I was just on the show just recently. Absolutely incredible job this young man's doing. He's a bright up and coming talent. So just want to say thanks, man, for jumping in. Go check out the Camper Report on YouTube. Great channel. Absolutely incredible. I've subscribed. Go check it out. He says Marcus Jones from Houston, who is one of my favorite corners as well. He said, I stayed up all night watching his film. He's a beast. You are correct. And we're going to get a full breakdown of him coming up soon. Marcus Jones, he's a smaller guy, 5'8". Right, so 5'8", 185, but just because he's short doesn't mean he's not jacked. He is a return specialist, slot corner with amazing ball skills. You're talking about somebody that can, do some damage in the return game and would be awesome from the University of Houston. Really, really like him. So anyway, take that for what you will. But, there's just a lot of stuff that's out there right now. And so sifted through before the combine, it's not that it's rough. It's just you got to make sure you know what you're talking about. And so I remember last year when we were doing all these, everybody's like, oh, this player won't be there. That player won't be there. They'll be gone too early. And yeah, that's people's opinions, and there might not be wrong opinions. But guess what? Creed Humphrey fell, passed us twice, and we didn't get him. Guys fall. And Aziz fell. Aziz Ojulari, he fell. Asante Samuel Jr. fell. So you have to do the work so that you know what's there whenever it gets there. And if you're one of those people that don't have time to put in the work, I do it for you. It's over on Patreon. All my write-ups, all the stats, all the everything. It's all there, all you need. So if you're trying to get more educated, go check it out. And again, remember a couple things. Number one, hashtag CC people. Make sure you get those in the next 2 episodes. That's going to enter you in for our buy one, get one free to the draft party in Vegas. Also going to do another giveaway as well. Give away some hats. But that's going to be there. So make sure you text that number. And if you haven't yet, check in the description of the video, text draft to the number down there, and you'll be registered. We'll be doing that just in 2 episodes. So really appreciate everybody. Thanks so much. And man, we got a long way to go for the draft, but we're going to just keep working and keep getting these. And tomorrow, make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell. We're going to have BD Peacock. Oh, the man, the myth, the legend on the podcast. So come check that out. But until next time, just want to say thank you, everybody. And as always, stay strong, faithful.